Hello friends, Bud with ACA New England. It's Monday, December 16th, 2024. Welcome to the Monday Message. And this is the second to last Monday message of the year. We will not be doing one on the 30th. Our offices will be closed. But since we are closing in on the end of the year, that means that Coffee and Camp Chat is also coming to a close for the year. Don't worry, we'll be back in the new year. But this Friday, December 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th is the final Coffee and Camp Chat of 2024. We will kind of ask folks what was the highs and lows of 24. That might be our icebreaker question. If you've never been to a Coffee and Camp Chat before, there's usually anywhere from 6 to 36 people in a room chatting about whatever the topics of the time are. And if you want to just come and listen to what other people are talking about, you're more than welcome. It literally was born out of upstairs in our office one Friday morning this time of year when it was kind of a quiet morning. We were digging into a topic pretty hard, and then that parlayed into another topic, and then a board member stopped by, was dropping off a holiday card. They ended up sitting there talking with us for about 30 minutes, and then we realized we should just do this every other week. We'll open the doors, say who wants to talk about what. A lot of our other drop-ins and events and workshops, they have specific purposes every single time. This really is coffee and camp chat, where if nobody says a word, I'll start asking questions about camp. Otherwise, bring your questions, bring your observations. And like I said, we usually start with some sort of direction, but then wherever the conversation takes us, we go. So if you're around Friday morning, 10 a.m., go on over to acanewengland.org/events. You'll see the links there. We'll get you to Zoom, we'll get you in, we'll get chatting. And by the way, you do not have to be a coffee drinker. The rules are you have to have a beverage nearby, because I have a personal thing that nobody gets overly animated when they have beverages nearby. So the conversation is pretty light most of the time, but we also talk about important stuff. And that's why we always say, if you show up with curiosity, empathy, and respect, and everybody's welcome. If you want to talk about Camp Friday morning, come holler at us. Speaking of looking back on 2024, on our website, first time we've done this in a while, we have an impact report. Some people want to know what it is we do here besides Coffee and Camp Chat and the conference and accreditation. Well, we do a lot of work that maybe goes unseen but should not go unnoticed. So please, if you get a moment, head on over to acanewengland.org, and on our blog there, right on the main screen, you can scroll down. You'll see a couple of things. You'll see the impact report, but you'll also see a couple letters from our board president, Ian Morehouse. For those who may not understand, ACA New England is the New England Camping Association. We are technically our own nonprofit entity, but we are partners of ACA Inc. because they own accreditation and we administer it for them here at New England. But members are members are members. But that's why sometimes you might hear us talk about, wait, what? Who's the board president? Yeah, New England has our own board, our own president, our own committees, our own everything that runs the ship here. But we have wonderful partners over at ACA Inc. who not only provide us with accreditation, but membership resources. If you're a member with us, you can always go to them as well. So shout out to our friends at ACA Inc. and to our leadership, everybody on the board, Ian, the whole team. Let's see, what else? Looking ahead to 2025, January, I don't know if it was official or unofficial, but there's a lot going on around mental health and wellness in January. And if you go over to acanewengland.org/events, it'll take you to our, you guessed it, events page. And we've got a little bit of everything going on in January and on into February. We have mental health first aid with our friend Emily Galinsky from Bright Moose Training. That is exactly what it sounds like. If you've heard about mental health first aid, there's your course. We've also are offering a youth mental health first aid course in conjunction with some of our partners out in Houston. They're also helping us out with a child mental health course. This one just has a generic title, so I want to explain what it is real quick. Child mental health. Here's the description. During this 90-minute e-session, participants will use activities, role play, and demonstrations to gain a baseline understanding of the difference between mental health and mental illness, explore the stigma of mental health, learn how to recognize the signs and symptoms of a camper who may be developing a mental health challenge, and create a plan for help. So that is the child mental health going on January 22nd. And then after that, self-harm at camp. After that, youth suicide prevention training. So we got a lot of good stuff going in January into February around mental health and wellness in that arena. acanewengland.org/events for more. Last but certainly not least, accreditation. 'Tis the season. A quick pause. If you don't know what accreditation is, go on over to our website, acanewengland.org, or actually, better yet, go to our partner's website, acacamps.org, and check out accreditation. That'll give you a great overview of what it is. But what it is, from my experience and from the way we kind of explained it, it's peer review. Look it up. Accreditation is peer review. So you hear about it in hospitals, you hear about it in schools and universities. So it makes sense that camps would have accreditation because hospitals, Schools. Well, camp is the intersection of learning and healthy living. And so accreditation is important in our industry, and nothing's more important than the visitors and the camps that help us out and continue to maintain accreditation. So to all those folks getting a visit this upcoming summer, your camp information forms are available online. Hit me up if you have any issues with access or if you have questions. Also, if you're not getting a visit, but you're accredited, your annual accreditation report, that is up there. I think it's 10 to 15 questions when you start the multi-part stuff. So it's about 10 to 15 narrative style questions, and it's a conversation on how you're maintaining your accreditation. So that's going to be up there for those folks who are accredited, but they're not getting a visit. And then if you are a visitor, if you're an accreditation volunteer and you go out and do the visiting, this time of year, normally you get an email from us saying, hey, when are you available next year? We're sending that out in January because we're updating the process with which we collect that information and share it with our standards committee, because then towards the end of January, that standards committee is going to get together and we're going to start assigning these visits to the camps that are getting visited in 2025 and our visitors from our Army. We've got like 226 visitors here in New England. It's a great group. So if you are a visitor and you're like, really? Who are they? Hit me up. I'd love to connect you all. And to the folks who are becoming visitors, you've already signed up for that course and you're going to take it, you'll be hearing from me afterwards as well about visit availability for the upcoming summer, because I'm assuming if you're training to become a visitor, you want to go out on a visit. So all that said, as always, keep being there for one another. We're always going to be here for you. Bud at acanewengland.org, camp at acanewengland.org, or just start out by going to acanewengland.org. Have a phenomenal week.